Hi, my name is Hershel Joseph Perry, and I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Dude, how'd you get into plumbing?
All right, well, so here's how it was. My old man grew up, he was a miner, and he didn't want to be a miner anymore, so he said, we're going to get into the construction field, and decided he was going to lay block. So he got in with the union, and then my parents, we moved up to Bristol, Tennessee, in Virginia. We lived there for the longest period of time. I went to school, went to high school at Rocky Top High. While we was there, everything, I actually got scouted to go to play sports. Everything was going fine, everything. Went to spring training, popped my knee. I go home, I'm licking my wounds and I'm upset and I'm sitting on the couch. And I'll never forget it, my old man said, you have two choices. You either gotta go back to school, or you gotta get a job, but you ain't laying on my couch. Well, at that time, I had friends that were working fast food and they're only making like, I think it was like $4.75 an hour. And he came to me and he goes, I'll give you $10 an hour to carry block. And at the time I'm thinking, that's $10. Until I actually got my hands on it and it's like, this is hard work for $10 an hour that today I wouldn't do again for $10 an hour. There was nothing down there getting built in Lafayette anymore. So he said, let's go to Tennessee. We went to Tennessee for a little bit, then we got picked up by the union and they brought us all the way up here to work on the shoe, or the Ohio State Buckeye Stadium. So when we came up here for that, they had 3 positions open. My dad asked if me and my brother can come. They approved it, we moved to Ohio. We came up here and started working. And they had a certain part of, I think it was the east wind, that was like having problems, and we went in there and we laid the blocks up for the walls, and he got their work, they extended the field a little bit. I'll never forget all that. But I never actually thought, like the longest period of time, I only knew about like Tennessee, Lafayette, I knew about North Carolina. You never ever heard of anybody saying you want to go live in the North, you want to go to Michigan, you want to go to Ohio. Didn't even really, until we moved up here, I didn't even know there was a team, the Ohio State Buckeyes. I didn't. It was SEC, that was it. You didn't hear nothing about the Big Ten or nothing. 2008, 2010, block work wasn't happening anymore. Nobody wanted a skilled blocksman when you can have poured basement walls and stuff. I was sitting literally at a bar and a man looked at me and said, the mason wall's going under, but there's always someone always going to need water, they're always going to need electric. So unless you want to be a Sparky, the best bet's to learn to swim. So I chose to go learn to swim. I was used to doing it all, from the ditch line plumbing all the way to top out plumbing to finishing plumbing. Instead now here it's excavation, but everybody here is pretty much in sync. They know if I need to get my excavation work done, I can count on somebody from install to fix their infra, and you don't have to juggle around and worry about that part. For me, underground plumbing was sort of like a little coast of like being a little bit in the mines. I did that for a little bit. I get to be underground. That doesn't bother me. I still get that same rush from going underground, being around heavy equipment. It's always like being a little kid. You get to play with the toys in life now that you played with as a kid. But I wouldn't change the way our life grew up and everything. I mean, like when I came up here to be a block, I wished that there was store skill for that to this day, because nobody wants handcrafted fireplaces. Nobody wants handcrafted stone on top. It's what's cheap and what can be done faster. That's a trade that, you know, unless you're a dinosaur, you're not there. Like there's some skills in plumbing that old plumbers use that we don't use anymore because it's not that type of material we use. And I feel like that now we got these generations coming up, and you're lucky if they know what a screwdriver is. And that's what scares me when it's coming on now. You know, that's a lot of problem of it is these days. Is like when I was growing up, and I know you can say this, you go to an auto parts store, you had an ex-mechanic that was retired working at auto parts. So he would tell you this is what you need for the water pump. Now it's like anybody can work anywhere. And because they see the part, they put it in the box, they know it, but they don't actually know what that part is for. And that is the biggest thing. Like right now, I tell my 16-year-old all the time, I was like, yeah, you can go out and get your oil changed and all that, but if you don't know what you're actually doing, what is the point of doing it? You know, we have people out here that will sell you something and all because they got a little pamphlet and the pamphlet tells them, but you don't know what it is. What is the point of doing that? I think a lot of it is like they just hire people in because they need the manpower. And we're not teaching them. And it's like up there, I had to go back the next day when you went with us, and I asked him for a two-way clean out. And he looked at me and blinked for 5 minutes, and I was like, do you know what I'm talking about? And he goes and gets me a tea. I said, no, that's a tea. I need a sanitation tea. I don't know what that is. Why are you working here? I'll go look it up on the computer, and I was like, okay. And I still went and got me another regular tea instead of a sanitation tea. And a sanitation tea has a wider flow than a normal tea. And if you don't know that, you're giving people parts, they're putting the wrong parts in the ground. My old man said there was the worst, dirtiest word there ever was can't. If he heard you say can't, you put money in a jar, or you gave up something on your weekend. I believe it the same way. Can't just means you automatically gave up. You didn't care. You can always take a deep breath, come back to it if it's kicking you. But if you say can't, just pack your tools and leave because you didn't want to do it in the first place. And I believe it's like this, like Sammy says, treat it like it's your house. I might not be living there, but if I know if I paid this type of money, or even if it was for a charity or something like that, it's not just my name. You know, it says this is Sammy's company, it's Apex Plumbing, but my name's on it too. Because when it comes down the line, if somebody would ever have to come and do a recall, or it wasn't done right because Joseph, I don't want it to be for that reason. So I see it like this. This is all of our names, no matter what anybody comes out here and do. It's not just Sammy's. And I don't want to be the loose lid on it. And I tell my kids every day, wake up every day like it's the best day of your life and finish it on a high note. No matter if you got in trouble 2 minutes ago, finish it on a high note, because when you wake up in the morning, it starts back over again for you.